right, everybody, we are live. Give Mr. Nathan 1 second. I'm waiting for something to pop up for me, and we will get started. I'm so happy to see you. Let's see. All right, there we go. There we go. Hey, everybody. It's me, Mr. Nathan. I'm so glad to see you. If you are coming in for the first time, welcome to Storytime. Everybody's happy to see you. I'm happy to see you. And know that even if you're on the other side of this screen, all by yourself, you are not alone. You are not alone. Today, we are reading an amazing book called The Choices I Make. The Choices I Make. And we are going to talk about emotions, because emotions and being able to know what to do with them is so important to us. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. You know what? We're going to read a story about a brother and a sister and stuff that they go through, and even some of their friends. And it's going to be such a great time. Let Mr. Nathan pull up the story for us, and we can get started. And remember, sometimes when we do that, it takes it a minute to load for us. So that will be the perfect time to get in your comfortable spot and get ready to read. Yep, it's still loading. So this is where we get to practice some of our patience, right? Because sometimes things take a little longer than we want them to, and there's not a whole lot that we can do about it, but that's okay. We will get it going when it decides to load for us. And so let's see. Let me try this. Let me try it again. The computer is running a little slow. All right. All right, the slides are prepping. Thank you so much for your patience, and hopefully it will load really, really quickly for us. But you know what? One thing Mr. Nathan would love to know, if you're watching on Facebook Live or you watch it later, what does your comfy spot for story time look like? Do you have a special spot where you sit? Maybe you have something like a big beanbag chair, or even something like the last story we read with my friend Bear. Maybe you have a big stuffed animal that you use for your story time. You know, I would love to be able to come sit on one of those big beanbag chairs and read with you right there in person. That would be amazing. All right. Let's go, internet. Let's all say that together. Let's go, internet. You know what? While we wait for this to load? Oh, there we go. Perfect timing. But before we get started, let me ask this question to you, because I'd love to know. When you think about your emotions, which ones are the ones that you feel most often? They could be things like maybe you feel angry or mad, upset, or maybe you feel happy, maybe you feel excited, maybe sometimes you feel sad. What are some of the emotions that you feel every once in a while? Mr. Nathan would love to hear about that. And now that the story has loaded, are you ready? And if you haven't been to Storytime before, Mr. Nathan is going to need your help. He's going to ask you some questions as we go along in the story, and he's going to need your help. And then after we finish the story, we're going to sing a song. And Mr. Nathan has a special activity that when we're done, your adult can reach out to Mr. Nathan if he or she wants to get the activity for you, but we will walk through it together while we are here for this story time. All right, let's get started. Oh man, let's start with a question. What is that look on the little boy's face? He's like, what? And the little girl looks so happy. So let's find out what's happening. Okay, here we go. When Josh got home from preschool, he wanted to play with his favorite toy. He thought about it all day, but when he looked, it wasn't where he thought it should be. He searched all over until he found it with Emily. All right, so we got Josh and we got Emily, and he looked for his favorite toy. So what's his favorite toy? Because they didn't say what it was. Oh, yep, you're right. It's that airplane. Absolutely. All right. That's my toy, sister. You stole it. An upset Josh cried. Emily looked shocked by his words. Her mouth was wide open. All right, so it was like, I borrowed it. I'm sorry. There's no need to be mad. She felt bad and she'd upset him. Her face looked so sad. I know, right? Let's look at both the faces. How do we know that Josh is mad? Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're right. So the color on his face, he turned red. Absolutely. Oh, that's another good point. Look at his eyebrows, right? And he yelled. Absolutely. You guys are so smart. And then what does his sister look like? Yeah, she looks like she's about to cry. Absolutely. And so let Mr. Nathan ask you this. How do you feel when somebody's yelling at you? And maybe they're pointing at you like Josh is here. And he said, that's my toy. It doesn't feel very good, does it? No. Maybe, I'll tell you something's going to happen. We're going to learn some things that we can do when maybe we feel mad, or maybe we're the person on the other end. But we'll get there in time as we read, okay? So we know that he's mad. Let's find out what happens. Dad rushed up the stairs after he heard Josh shout out. He said, Josh, what on earth is all this noise about? When Dad heard the story, he looked at Josh and said, son, there is nothing is ever gained from losing your head. Oh man, what does he mean by that? I bet we're gonna find out. All right, this is still his dad talking. Did shouting make you feel better or worse, Josh? Asked Dad. It seemed you've made yourself feel worse and made Emily feel sad. Calm yourself down by counting backward from 10 in your head. Rather than yelling, kindly ask for your toy back instead. Oh, Wow, isn't that such a important thing to think about? When he yelled, both people were feeling some sort of emotion. One person was feeling sad, one person was feeling mad. And did either one of them feel really good about what was happening? Nope, you're right. Nope. So let's you and Mr. Nathan practice the skill that the dad gave Josh to do, okay? But we're going to do it out loud. So I need your help. I need you to count along with me, okay? So we're going to count backwards from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, remember he said you can do it in your head or you can do it out loud. So remember, you can practice that at any time. Let's do it one more time for more practice, okay? Because always practicing our numbers is important too. So here we go. You ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. Thanks for helping me do that. You did such a great job at counting. All right, let's see what happens next. Josh thought about the event after listening to Dad. He decided to stop and think next time before getting mad. Emily gave Josh his toy, and as he walked off to play, he thought he'd feel better by dealing with upset this way. All right, so what are they doing? It looks like maybe he's giving the plane back. I don't know. We're going to find out. Oh, okay. There's something new. Hey, before we read this one, what is on this table? Oh, yeah. So he's got a cake. So looking at Josh's face, what does he look like? What emotion do you think he's expressing here? He looks super happy. Uh-huh. Oh, that's a good one too. That's not an emotion, but it's a way that he feels. He looks hungry. How do we know that? Oh yeah, because he's got his tongue sticking out and he just looks super excited. So let's read about what's happening here. Mom was making Emily's birthday cake later that week. Josh got very excited after sneaking a peek. He licked his lips after he saw it and thought it looked nice. He wanted so much to reach out and grab a huge slice. Oh man, what do you think would happen if he grabbed a huge slice without asking? I don't think that would go too well for our friend Josh. Do you? Probably not. Let's see what happens. He thought about eating it, then about what Emily might say. If there was no cake at her party, she'd have a sad birthday. Josh didn't want to upset his sister, so he decided to wait. He wanted to make sure Emily's party would be great. All right, so look, he thought about his options, right? The dad before he said, what's better or worse? So he had two options. So on one side, we see him eating it all by himself. And on the other side, we see him celebrating his sister's birthday with his mom and dad. And he chose to do it with his mom and dad because guess what? Most of the time doing things together feels a lot better than doing it by yourself. So All right, he chose to do it with his family. Let's find out what else is going on with old Josh here. All right, the next morning, Josh's friends came over for the day. They brought over a board game and they all wanted to play. It was very close, a very close finish. Josh tried hard but didn't win. He hated losing board games. He felt his anger begin. Oh man, how do we know he's angry? Oh, yeah. Okay, the look on his face. He's got what's coming out of his ears. He's got like steam coming out of his ears. And he even went like this. Let's see. You might not be able to see Mr. Nathan do it, but let's do our arms like him. Let's try and be like Josh. Let's pretend that we are upset. Ready? Oh, man. Just like that. He's like, I can't believe I didn't win the board game. All right, but do we think that he practiced just being angry? Let's see. I bet we're going to get some options. So you have to help Mr. Nathan choose. Which one should we choose? It might not be the one that Josh chooses, but let's see. Which one should we choose? Okay, I need your help to do it. Let's find out on the next page. All right, he wanted to throw the board into the air, stomp away, but he knew if he did that, he'd ruin everyone's day. Have you ever done that? Have you ever been so mad you've just thrown things and you just stomped away? You know what? Mr. Nathan has too. I think everybody's done that at some point. And you know what? That's okay, because maybe when you did it, you didn't know that you could do this other thing instead. So we see again, Josh is thinking about two things. He's thinking, oh, I can just throw it in the air and I can just walk away. But he gives us another option. So let's think about this other option, okay? All right. So he said he knew if he did it, it would ruin everyone's day. So he breathed slowly and deeply until the anger was gone. Then he said, well done, guys. Good job. Let's get a new game on. Okay, so here's what Mr. Nathan wants you to do, okay? Mr. Nathan wants you to get in your comfy spot, and you can try and sit like Josh, or you can just sit still, and I want you to put your hands on your knees and have them facing towards you. So face up like this, okay? All right. And Mr. Nathan wants you to close your eyes, and we'll practice some of that breathing, okay? And what Mr. Nathan is going to do is he's going to count backwards from 10. And he just wants you to practice breathing, okay? All right, here we go. So as I count, just breathe. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, did you close your eyes and did you breathe like this? That's a good way to pause and just see how you're feeling. And maybe you can have your adult help you, or maybe your teacher can help you. And you can just practice anytime when you feel upset or you know you're about to get upset. You can say, okay, I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to breathe and I'm going to practice my counting. Okay? I know you can do it. I have faith in you. All right. Later at the store, Josh and Mom were standing in the queue. Josh wanted candy, but Mom said no. His temper grew. Please, Mom, I really want candy, a frustrated Josh said. Mom repeated, no, Josh. Josh got more upset and his face turned red. Oh yeah, we can see his face turning red because he couldn't get the candy. He felt so angry and hot, he wanted to scream and shout, but he did what he knew would let the anger quietly out. He closed his eyes and he counted slowly from 10 in his head. He didn't get candy, but he got to feel proud of himself instead. So I think an important thing here that Josh learned is counting to 10 doesn't mean that your being mad wasn't there, because it's okay to feel mad about certain things. That is totally okay. But he said he did what he knew would quietly let it out. All right, so that's what we get to do. We get to find the things that help us let out what we're feeling. What we don't want to do is keep it in there, because when we keep it in, we probably look like Josh in the one bubble where he's like shouting and he's all angry. And what else happened? Oh, yeah, you're right. His face turned red. He had stuff coming out of his ears. That's what happens when we don't learn to let it out. So this whole story is about, hey, it's okay to feel our emotions, and we just get to figure out ways that we get to let it out and deal with it instead of having it bottle up or just exploding everywhere like old Josh did in the beginning, right? So I know you practiced with me, you counted to 10. So anytime you start to feel angry, you can count to 10. And here's the good thing. Any emotion that you feel, if you're feeling sad, you can count to 10 and you can talk to somebody about it. Like you can talk to your adult, you can talk to some of your friends, and you can say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And we're going to hear some of that in the song that we sing here in a second, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed our book today. And again, it was The Choices I Make by Michael Gordon, what we read today. And let me stop sharing and we'll get into the song. All right. So, during the song, you got to get in enough space. If you want to move around, you want to dance, you got to make sure you're not around where you're going to hit anybody by doing your dance moves. So make sure you got enough room. And I will pull it up for us. Here we go. All right. And let me share sound. Share. All right, here we go.
What do you do when you're happy? When I'm happy, I laugh.
When I'm happy, 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 I laugh, laugh, laugh. Laugh, 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 I laugh, laugh, laugh. When I'm happy, 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 I laugh, laugh, laugh.
Ho, 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 ho! What do you do when you're sad? When I'm sad, I cry.
When I'm sad, 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 I cry, cry, cry. sad, I cry, cry, cry.
What do you do when you're angry? When I'm angry, I stomp my feet.
When I'm angry, 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 I stomp my feet. Stomp my feet, I stomp my feet. When I'm angry, 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 I stomp my feet.
What do you do when you're hungry? When I'm hungry, I eat a snack.
When I'm hungry, 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 I eat a snack. Eat a snack, I eat a snack. When I'm hungry, 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 I eat a snack.
Yum, 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 yum! What do you do when you're sleepy? When I'm sleepy, I go to sleep.
When I'm sleepy, 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 I go to sleep. Go to sleep, I go to sleep. When I'm sleepy, 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 I go to sleep.
All right. Hey, Mr. Nathan has a question for you. When you do that last part where you're sleeping, do you snore like the guy on the screen, like our alien on the screen there? Oh, okay. All right. We got one more thing for our story time today. Mr. Nathan's going to pull it up, and this is the activity where you can get your adult. So adults, you can reach out to me and get this activity if you want to do it with your child. And so let me pull it up, share it again, and we're going to talk all about our emotions. So let's see. Give me 1 second here. All right, I gotta get it pulled up for us. Here we go. All right, and it should let me share. All right, hold on. Mr. Nathan started over here. There we go. All right. So, the cool thing Mr. Nathan likes to think about when thinking about our feelings, and we can use our buddy Josh as an example, right? It starts out like a thermometer. So if you've ever been sick and maybe you've had a fever, you have your parents, they stick a thermometer in and it will tell you how hot you are, right? But we can do that with our emotions too. So you see that we have a thermometer that tells us about our emotions. So what Mr. Nathan would want you to do with your adult is you can name how you're feeling. So you can see the different feelings there and you can give it a name. And you can see how one starts out at blue and it goes all the way up to red, because our emotions can do exactly like that. They can shoot up sometimes, just like when we're sick and we have that thermometer in and it just shoots up because we're so hot. our emotions can do the same exact thing. So you can name your emotions, right? And here we get to practice cutting some stuff out. These are all the feelings that we have, and we can practice cutting it out. And here we talk about it. See our little red guy here. He's mad. Sometimes he's scared. Sometimes he's annoyed. Then our guy here, oh my goodness. Sometimes he's worried. Sometimes he's embarrassed. And sometimes he's silly and even excited. And then our guy here in our hat, he's happy, he's confident, sometimes he's even thankful. And then our blue guy, look at him. He looks so sad, but sometimes he is tired, he's bored, and sometimes he's just shy. So, you know what you get to do there is you get to talk with your adult about the feeling, right? And you get to decide when you see the picture of the little brain here, you get to decide what that feeling is. So you get to talk to them about that. And here's what I want you guys to do together. All right. I want you to ask 3 questions of you and your adult. And adults, I want you to do this with your kids. So you get to fill this out too, because guess what? You have those emotions too, and the kids get to know that as well. So here are the questions, okay? So Mr. Nathan wants you to spend the next week thinking about this and talking about it with your adult. How do I feel right now? Right, so that's question number 1. How do I feel right now? And you get to say however you feel. All right, so I'm going to read the example. So the first top guy here says, how do I feel right now? And we take our piece we cut out and we put it over here. So right now I'm feeling happy. Okay, so here's question number 2. Where in my body do I feel it right now? All right, and so you get to decide, because when we feel emotions, we feel it somewhere in our body. So let's talk about where our guy feels it. So it says, I feel it in my face. Oh man, okay. And it says, remember when Josh let out his anger quietly? We get to let out our emotions. So the third one says, what can I do to help me with it? And so what did our friend in this example do? Tell my adult a joke. All right, so we can tell a joke and that will let out some of our happiness. All right, let's do this. We'll do all the examples, okay? All right, so we got our guy over here. So how do I feel right now? Do you know what that says? It says mad. All right, where do I feel it in my body right now? My chest. And you know what? In Josh's examples, he might have felt it in his face because it kept turning red, but you can feel it all over the place, okay? So what can I do to help myself with it? Oh, look at that. We have the same example that Josh used. I can count to 10. All right. And we know you can do that because you helped Mr. Nathan with it today. All right, here's another one. So we got our guy over here. How do you feel right now? Sad. Where do you feel it? In my eyes. So why might that person, if they're feeling sad, why might they feel it in their eyes? Yeah, because they're crying. Maybe they're crying to let it out a little bit. Let's see what we can do to ask for help. Yeah, what can I do to ask for help with it? I can ask for a hug. Oh man. All right. We can ask for a hug. It's always important to ask. All right, our last one. All right, our guy is over here feeling worried. Oh no, he doesn't know where he feels it. And you know what? That's important to say. Sometimes when you ask, where do I feel it right now? You're not going to know. And that's okay. Sometimes you might just feel it everywhere, all over. And so let's see what we can do to get him some help that he needs. All right, we can do a couple of things. We can practice our breathing that we did today. And we can ask an adult or a friend to help us, because you probably know what you're worried about. So you can always ask for help. Just like we asked for the hug in the example before, we can always ask for help if there's something that we don't know how to do, okay? So those are just some examples. And then Mr. Nathan made a page where you can complete that all by yourself. You can cut out your feelings and you can fill it out with your adults. Let me turn this off. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nathan. Always love spending time with you. And I hope you got a lot out of the book today. The choices I make. Hey, if you've got a book that you would love to have read at Storytime, reach out, let Mr. Nathan know. And hey, if you ever watch Storytime, we would love for you to tag you watching, like a picture or anything. We would love to see you taking part in Storytime. And with that, remember that it's always a great day to smile. All right, see you next time.